The next person is Doug Gustafson.
Hi, you guys hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hi, this is Doug, chairman of HomesNOW, not later. Our organization manages Unity Village, the first tiny home community in Bellingham for formerly homeless individuals located in Fairhaven. I invite anybody to check it out for themselves personally. Tonight, I want to address an issue which has been discussed in recent months in regards to the camp cleanups policy that the city of Bellingham and the BPD has been implementing. Initially, when I started HomesNOW in 2017, and throughout the years of working with the city of Bellingham and the BPD, I thought that the BPD and the city of Bellingham had written policies and procedures regarding what to do about camp cleanups, also called sweeps by others. Recently, Marcus D., as homeless advocate for Whatcom County on the Whatcom County Homeless Strategies Work Group, as well as vice chair for HomesNOW, got a message from City Council member Hannah Stone where she stated that she was not at liberty to share the documentation that was provided to her in regards to the camp cleanups policy for review purposes. She also stated that the documentation has not been provided to the other city council members, including Michael Lilliquist, who requested the information as well. From my perspective, I think that information about this specific and important policy should be available to the general public to have input and influence about what should be best and procedures for camp cleanups in general. If forming this policy for the first time in formal writing is open to the public, we can together come up with the best policies and procedures in order to assure that camps that are a real hazard can be cleaned up, but other camps that are not causing any major issues can be left alone. We should also be looking for ways to help campers in general have a housing option of some kind that's an option to step up to in general from various service providers. I'm not saying that all the camps won't have to be cleaned up. I'm only saying that, big picture, there should be ways to reduce the number of camps in general by implementing alternatives, which are not readily available for people camping. For example, a significant number of residents of Unity Village were formerly campers who would still be out there if not for them having the option of the village. In the spirit of progress in that direction, I'd like to focus on a separate issue to provide some solutions. I propose that HomesNOW could use the former Safe Haven location in the Whatcom 911 Dispatch Center parking lot in the Sunnyland neighborhood to set up a second tiny home community. If we have access to the site in January, February, it would give us time to construct around 15 tiny homes as the weather improves. Sorry, thank you. Take it easy.
The next person is Melissa Gregg.
Go ahead, Melissa.
All right, cool. Hello, it's me again. Everybody loves to see me. I want to speak to the homing situation, housing crisis. I'm hearing of this money funneling in, and I would like to remind you that our DV services are so sadly underfunded that we're literally dying out there and being arrested by your police officers in unsafe numbers. So if you could maybe funnel some of that cash our way so that we can stop dying, that'd be super cool. But like, yeah, you guys are giving people tents at the Opportunity Council, and then the cops are going in and sweeping them and taking their stuff. And you're sitting here, like, I'm just like, this is my first time sitting in a city council member meeting talking about this. And you guys are taking 5 years. And then what I'm hearing is another 5 years to try to come up with housing that we needed 5 years ago. We need this housing stuff taken care of, and we need you guys to put up those tiny homes and the pallet houses in the areas we already have, because you don't have services to keep us in houses, and the rent just keeps going up. They just upped the stuff on Puget to $1,100 a month. We can't afford it. We're all going to be homeless soon. You guys don't control the rent. We're all homeless. So, you know, we need it faster than 5 years from 5 years from 5 years from now. Okay. Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Next person is Flip Breskin.
Hello.
Hi, Flip.
Hi. First, I want to say thank you. Listening to the number of plates y'all are trying to keep spinning in the air in these crazy times, I am grateful for your thoughtful, compassionate attempts. And I am so concerned about our currently unhoused citizens with the smoke on top of the pandemic. And winter is coming. We need stuff in place. And I spent some time today calling around. And isn't there some way to get a hot team 24/7? There really are people who can't handle going in to the existing large room shelters. And we need to do a better job on the most vulnerable among us. There needs to be legal land for people to move into or onto as an alternative to the sweeps. We need safety. And yeah, the measure of a civilization is how it cares for the least among us. And the system's broken. What can we do while we're building the new one? And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Flip.
Marcus D. Stidham.
Yes, hi. Thank you, esteemed members of council and mayor. It's good to have you here. I just want to speak to, of course, you all know that I've been really tied up in for the all summer long, actually, with investigations into the camp cleanups and the repercussions of those. And I trust that all your eyes are on it and your hands are on the tiller on that. I'd much rather speak to you as a sheltering agent for HomesNOW right now with a solution. And I still propose, I continue to propose a 50% decrease in the actual cleanups budget and put that toward sheltering, plus the available dollars that we all know are available right now that will burn up in December if we don't turn them into beds for the hundreds of people who are still unfunded. We spoke of CARES dollars tonight. And there's hundreds of people who just never got a penny of that out there on the street. These are people who actually have jobs and are paying taxes. Some of these people have already paid their taxes. They're on SSI because they're broken from the jobs they did. Some of them are veterans and they've paid their dues. Let's just get them into some shelters right away. The pallet shelters, which I'm proposing, they're manufactured down in Everett, are a wonderful way to spend that money and get services. Let's just identify the lots to put up small villages, identify nonprofit partners and churches to help facilitate, to help man it, and go. We've got to pull these people out of the ditches, pull them out of the riparian zones of our creek beds, and bring them home before the winter falls. We need to bring services to them, hold them still, and welcome them home. I really appreciate your time, and I yield the rest.
Thank you, Marcus. Go ahead, sir. Next.
Next person is Daniel Wallach.
Howdy, is everybody able to hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, council members, mayor. Thank you to all the other speakers. I'm glad to hear so much energy for, really urgently dealing with the homelessness crisis, trying to do away with the sweeps completely. I've been watching the sessions all day, and there is some progressive movement like this, possible pre-detention diversion programs. And if that's going on, my question is, why can't we defund the police if, they're not going to be utilized in locking those people up just for simply existing? And yeah, my actual question that I'm just really curious to hear an answer to is what the state of I don't know, the city's response to the smoke going on is just in the context of our houseless community. I'm just curious what kind of like facts or assumptions the city is working on. Is the city and the health department assuming that everybody should go to base camp or another, like low barrier shelter? We do know from different people's experiences at base camp that it's not very pleasant place to be, especially for families, especially for families with kids. And then the only other thing is if the health department, I don't know, this, I'm sure we're all bothered and noticing the smoke, but just if the health department is doing any kind of in-person outreach to do education around the risks of smoke, of this wildfire smoke to people's health. I know some people have been talking to some folks downtown, and a lot of people just don't know that it's from wildfires. A lot of folks think it's just from fog, and I'm just curious if there's any kind of in-person education being done in any institution or just like on the ground. And then also, I'd just be really curious to hear how this kind of planning is going on for future years. I feel like I think at this point we can safely assume that we are going to have increasingly bad wildfires that affect our health, whether directly from fire risk or from smoke risk every year as the climate crisis continues. I'm just really curious to hear any follow-up of how this is kind of being invested in, especially to protect the folks who cannot just go inside, especially in light of COVID, when just so many places are literally shut down. People just can't escape to businesses, especially. I think that's it. I would actually like, follow ups to these questions, especially about just kind of the information that the city is working from, and specifically the health department in light of these things. And thank you so much, everyone. And I hope you have a great night.
Thank you.
Mary McIntosh.
Hi, my name's Mary McIntosh. I am just calling to urge you to stop the sweeps. Per CDC guidelines and per the law, you're not supposed to move campers unless you have a shelter to offer them. At this time, there are no shelters to offer to these people who you are moving camp-wise. The mission only takes 160 beds, and there's far, far more than that a number of people camping in the woods. Also, I urge you to use the CARE dollars that you have, the 1.4 million coming in, to buy the pallet homes and create some shelters and get some of the people, some of the campers out of their tents and into some homes for this winter. We can do it with that money. I just urge you to take these things into consideration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last person is James Waterhouse.
Hi there. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, my name is James Waterhouse. I must say I'm so impressed with the conversations that are going on here. We've recently moved to your fair city from the San Gabriel Valley, where my family lived for about 115 years. We left because of climate change in 2010. Hurricane force winds that are uncharacteristic blew the roof off my house that my grandpa built, my Swedish immigrant grandpa. So we're very passionate about the climate, and also very impressed and looking forward to understanding the complexities of how you're seeking to deal with these problems and caring for those, whether they're homeless or jobless, or the various other ways that this is impacting everything. So I'm here to learn and listen. I wanted to introduce myself. James Waterhouse, my wife, Michelle. We're just here to add backbone and jawbone and courage and hope and all of that. My great grandpa was mayor of Pasadena in 1905. At that time, the Republicans were the party of the people. And, so we'll see what holds here. And I'd sure love to be a part of making things better.
Thank you, sir. Welcome to Bellingham. Okay, is there anybody else, Elizabeth?
No one else.
Okay, thank you very much.